But there is information that makes a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake by Blue Point Games very possible.
That's the only remake I would say it's worth it.
The other day, it doesn't really
Resident
need a
Evil
remake.
4.
I've never played the game, to be honest.
And you love it.
And I love it.
And
And
the
the
people
fans
are
love it.
apparently asking
The
for
fans
it. Yeah.
love it. I don't know if it's because of me and my reactions, but
Yeah,
they love it.
Actually, one sec. Calm down, fans. Go home.
Yeah, go home, guys. Quit knocking at our doors, okay?
For our next topic, this one came from a friend of the pod. He said, video games haven't evolved outside of their graphical abilities. There hasn't really been any changes for the past 15 years. Del, you want to give us a little bit of backstory on it? Like,
Yeah, our friends, we'll call them Bifrost, all right? Bifrost. They said, I want you to talk about something. He's like, I don't really feel like video games have kind of reached this point. And he was saying, like, even before PlayStation 3, like even at GameCube levels, even at those times, like we were reaching our peak in gaming. And he says once we got to the PS3, we reached it, and then but I actually have some issues with some of what he said. But he says ever since, PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, there hasn't been milestones like we had back in the day, from Super NES to N64, or Sega Dreamcast to Sega Genesis to Dreamcast, stuff like that.
okay.
I think that the tossing the graphics in there does make it more interesting with discussion, obviously, right? Because like obviously the polygon count has gone way up, graphics have gotten way better. Like that's easy, right? But like I'm looking at like a list of like 2008 games because I was trying to think of like what even came out in that time frame that these claims are being made.
GTA
And look
4.
at like Fallout 3, right? Like Fallout 3, it was an all right game, right? But like even just the AI, even just some of the capabilities of dialogue and NPC interaction, things like that. The difference between like Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, Fallout 3 and Skyrim or something it's ridiculous. It's crazy.
I mean, some people would say New Vegas was the peak.
Yeah, true. New Vegas is good. I mean, the best Fallout game was Fallout 2, but New Vegas is all right.
For the purists, I don't like the over the top. It just
I grew up on stuff like that, dude. Old Diablo and like Fallout and just so many games like that. There's some mythic games that played like that.
I would say mostly, I think that would really apply to like maybe some sports games, because a lot of the sports games is just pasting copies, just adding players. You know what I mean? It's like, you all right?
sorry, I just had the buckle.
Yo, I've been just staring at Smalls' hat this whole time from the Sandlot. I'm like, how did I not notice that his hat was so massive when I was a kid? We all played baseball when I was a kid, and I never realized how big this kid's hat was.
Oh man, the derailment.
Should we buy some?
Hilarious.
Should
Yeah,
we buy
I'm
some
sorry.
big hats for PAX?
I think we know what our Halloween costume.
Pilgrim Pooch.
Yeah, we're all gonna be pilgrims.
Anyways, the claim regarding graphics is interesting because I think in one sense I kind of agree. If you look over the generations, right, you go like Atari to NES to SNES, then to like that PlayStation 1 N64 era, those are like massive jumps in graphics.
For sure.
Then PS1 to PS2, PS2 to PS3, there's still big jumps. Once you get to PS3 to PS3 on, the graphical leap, the realism hasn't changed that dramatically. It's certainly up there. The number of polygons, the quality of things like hair, hands, facial animations, all those
Textures.
things are vastly improved from like the PS3 generation. And I say vastly, but it's like as a whole, character models and things like that, they haven't like crossed some threshold of like, oh, like how much real could it get? Like not much, I don't think. Although that one game with the police cam shooter thing,
Oh,
it kind of showed like, all right, we could get a little bit more realistic. Like that,
Yeah.
whatever technology they're using is interesting.
Yeah, I remember being like, even for PS3 when they debuted like the Heavy Rain, I was like, whoa, like this is. I felt like even that was like, whoa, that's incredible.
Yeah, and it's crazy. That's the last era where I felt amazed by the graphics in the game. After seeing like PS4 and PS5 games, obviously way better looking than PS3 games, I didn't have that feeling of blown awayness. Like there was Metal Gear Solid 4, there was the trailer for Heavy Rain, and there was, oh my God, there was one other game. Oh yeah, the Final Fantasy Versus 13 trailer. I don't know if that shit was crazy. Like, and they completely gutted that game and renamed it and changed it, and it became Final Fantasy 15. But that Versus 13 trailer, you watch it right now, and you're like, this is better than anything they're making right now. And it's like, why don't they make this game? And just like what was happening, the particles, all that stuff, it was so impressive to me. And I think now what we're getting in this like PS3 and on is not so much a jump in graphical fidelity, because that is happening, but it's how many things could happen. It's like, look at a game like Returnal. That's not possible on the PS3. Obviously. Like that number of like particles, the number of like moving like foliage with like physics, like random tentacle things, like just look at how many things lights are flashing across the screen every time you like fire around. And then you have things like open world games, right? You know, a game like Far Cry or Just Cause or something like that.
I think
You like-
that was one of his criticisms, that games got too open world, and then we got too open world, and then out of nowhere we went The Last of Us got introduced, and like Naughty Dog's games started becoming popular, which were more linear. And he's like, he still felt like we're trying to get that Last of Us game again, but we can't seem to find it.
I mean, there's a PlayStation showcase later on today that
May
might
24th?
have some interesting stuff. They claim that there's going to be some first-party titles announced, in addition to like PSVR
Ooh.
stuff, PS5 first-party titles, and then some third-party stuff.
Yeah,
So,
that's
like-
on May. Yeah.
May 24th.
Is that not today? I thought that was
It's trending. It's trending super
okay.
hard.
Yeah, they
I
announced
even
it
looked
today.
today. Yeah, I even looked. I was like, when, huh? I'm like so fiended out. You want me to spend money, PlayStation?
Well, I guess this will be out the same day that we release this one next
Yeah.
week. Then
Nice. Yes.
True. Yeah, there's a
today.
PlayStation
Tonight.
showcase today. Yeah, that's what we should claim. Yeah,
I
I'm
think-
interested. I'm interested to see what's going on.
I think when you talk about like AAA games, you run into. I mean, we've had these conversations for years and years about like the creativity in AAA games and how many of them are samey and how many of them are actually breaking the barriers. And like Last of Us is one of the big ones. But I think if you look at like it from like an indie gaming perspective in general, there's some weird genres. There's some weird gameplay mechanics that have been put into some games that we didn't even think were a thing in 2008. In 2008, if you had told me that there was going to be a game about Lovecraftian cosmic horrors and fishing, that would make no sense to me. Dredge is one of my favorite games of the year so far, though. Like it's there's a lot of creativity in the indie space. There's a lot of new game styles in the indie space in particular.
I would have
you
never
told
gotten
me that I would
yeah.
spend a significant portion of my lockdown time during the pandemic playing Construction Simulator or Snow Runners. I was just hauling shit across the country. I would laugh at you, but like I did that. And yeah, those are games that just back in those days, like 2008, 2009, they were pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, like the if you pitch those at like EA or something, they'd be like, but where's the guy that every time he shoots someone, he makes a quip and he says something, a one-liner every time that he kills people? How many people do you kill in this game?
Get some.
I did think
Just Duke Nukem, dude.
Eat
One of-
shit.
one of those games that definitely
Man, I'm sorry, Tony. Go ahead.
one of those games that definitely evolved was GTA. I think over time, like there was like I think GTA 5 and 4 were kind of similar, but certain aspects of it changed. Not graphically, but those are like the games where you can really see a big change in graphics.
I mean,
Yeah, I was going to say graphically.
Yeah, 3 to 4.
Three,
yeah.
3 to 4 is a huge jump. 4 to 5. I mean, 5 looks amazing. 5 did look amazing at the time. It still looks good. GTA, and I mean, GTA Online is a game changer. GTA Online kind of like cemented some of these ideas of the forever game, the games as a service kind of model being successful.
Yeah,
And 3 to 4 is a big jump. But I mean, even if you look at 3 to Vice City to San Andreas, they all had jumps.
Mhm.
Like the graphics in Vice City were significantly better than 3.
yes.
There's just a polish and a sheen that game has that 3 just looked a little rough around the edges. And then San Andreas added like underwater stuff, way more like planes. They added a lot of RPG mechanics, like you could eat mad food and become a fat bastard, or work out and get super ripped. Like you could change your clothes, get tattoos, all this type of customizable stuff that wasn't available in Vice City. Like San Andreas added a lot of cool stuff too.
There was a time where everything was brown in like 2010 to 2013. There's like a lot of games that were just like brown, like everything that you looked at, even the first Borderlands. It's like,
Borderlands 1, Metal Gear Solid 4, the Resistance series, Fallout, all doodoo brown. Them games are brown.
Rage, the Rage game.
I never played any of those Rage games.
It's brown.
I never really know.
That was the thing. You know what game could have been more brown, and they didn't, and it was a good call. Red Dead Redemption 2, man. That game feels like it should be brown as hell, and it is not.
I fucking love that game.
Yeah, that's another game from Red Dead 1 to Red Dead 2 made a crazy jump.
Huge jump, dude. Even just a lot of it is graphics. A lot of it is graphics. There is some really cool stuff they added in too, but a lot of it comes down to graphics, like like the horse's balls shrieking when it's cold. There's just little touches like that, but some of that you could argue is just straight up like graphic improvement, right? Like
I replayed Red Dead Redemption 2 like within the year for sure. I'm trying to remember why I even did this. The game is incredible. It was better the second time around. A lot of my complaints about the animations and all that stuff, the horse brushing, all that stuff, it didn't bother me at all. I don't know if updates have made the game better since, but my experience was way better. The game is fantastic. The animations, the storytelling, all that stuff. Shout out to Red Dead 2. It's a shame that GTA is just not as good.
Yeah, as a whole, I feel like Red Dead should work better, but it just doesn't. Like the online model didn't work as good, but as a single player, it's way better than the Grand Theft Auto 5. If you ask me,
Dang.
I think the story is better. I think the story is a little better written. I do enjoy the story in GTA 5. I think that the characters are interesting. I think Michael was underrated. I think he was one of the funnier characters in GTA 5.
I go for more of the redemption arc. I really like the third leg of Red Dead 2 kind of makes up for some of the first half. I really like it. Him getting tuberculosis late in the game, and you're just watching this man slowly die is like one of the. I had to pause the game once because I was like, I've never felt this way about a fucking. I never felt like that. I was like, yo, this is a little too realistic for me.
That's why the game was good, because of the storyline. The GTA storylines have been, other than Ballad of Gay Tony and the whole Vice City era of GTA, like stories are just plain as hell.
I am curious if the Vice City story actually holds up in any way, shape, or form. I think it's probably kind of basic. I don't think it's actually as good as you remember it being. I think the gameplay made up for a lot of the story shortcomings.
And the music made up for
a lot.
And
the music was ridiculous.
No, she's on fire.
That's actually from GTA 3.
Oh.
It does feel like it belongs in Vice City because it's from Scarface, but they used all the Scarface movie in GTA 3. I don't know why they did that. And then they made a game about Miami. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? And you know those games are in development at the same time. Like, GTA 3 dropped, and I think 1 year later Vice City came out, or maybe 2 years later. There's no way they weren't in active development at the same time.
GTA 6 better be amazing for how long they've taken between GTA 5 and this new game.
The storyline better be sick.
They did make Red Dead Redemption 2 in the middle, which was a huge game. I do wish they came up with a new IP. I feel like the tech that they have at Rockstar is some of the best.
Yeah.
And it feels, I say, wasted.
Yeah.
It feels they're literally printing. They've made over $1 billion on GTA 5.
They could take some gambles, right? With like new IPs, I feel like if they're bleeding money.
Why would you take a gamble if you could just print another billion? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, they could go back to some of their old stuff. They could give us a new Bully game. They could drop a new Manhunt game.
Oh man, it was trash.
It was
just
like,
since we're on the topic of games, though, and you guys brought up the PlayStation Showcase. What do you think is gonna happen?
yo, I'm excited.
They're dropping.
Okay, so they're saying Metal Gear 1 is gonna get remade. I'm like, I don't know.
There is information. There's always information about Metal Gear remakes. But there is information that makes a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake by Blue Point Games very possible. So
That's the only remake I would say it's worth it. Because y'all know
I already played it the other day. It
Bought
doesn't really
Resident
need a
Evil
remake.
4.
I've never played the game, to be honest, so it doesn't count for me.
And you love it.
And I love it.
And
And
the
the
people
fans
are
love it.
apparently asking
The
for
fans
it. Yeah.
love it. I don't know if it's because of me and my reactions, but
Yeah,
they love it.
Actually, one sec. Calm down, fans. Go home.
Yeah, go home, guys. Quit knocking at our doors, okay?
With your pilgrim hats, buckles everywhere.
My neighbors, I'm sure, love that at 2:00 in the morning.
So some obvious things, right? They're gonna show off Death Stranding 2 because that's real.
Okay.
Ghost of Tsushima 2, they're gonna show in some capacity. But what about Last of Us Factions?
Oh,
That's
my
something.
God.
It gotta be there, right?
Oh
It-
my
it better be there.
God.
That's the claim. The claim is that there's going to be a Last of Us multiplayer announcement.
It has
Final Fantasy VII remake, the second part, has to be there.
They think they might drop a release date. They're not sure if there's going to be too much information though, because what is it? Final Fantasy 16 is about to drop, and they don't want to take too much heat off that.
The very secretive Carlos Mencia game.
Tony's favorite, Pragmata. The number of times Tony has brought this game up makes me sick.
It makes me sick.
deliver it. I'm tired of Tony bringing this game up. What's the game with the kid and the astronaut? Pragmata.
I like that my hands are in some Don Vito type Corleone. Like, that's hilarious. But no, that game was interesting as hell to me. It gives me like Kojima vibes. I don't know why. But
Because it's a bunch of really pretty things, and then the plot doesn't make any sense. That's a Kojima move right there.
yeah, Death
I don't know
Stranding
how
2.
they're making a Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, what are they going
And
to
I don't know what the plot of the game is. If it's a series of deliveries again, I'll probably platinum it again. But I feel like I don't want it to be that. I
If
hope it's
it
not
is
that.
going to be that, I hope that we can be in the same server.
Yeah, true. Okay, some co-op, some different online capabilities, that would make the game a lot better.
Yeah, I would love to know that I'm spending my valuable time helping my boys out.
What if they announce the Tears of the Kingdom is being ported to the PlayStation 5?
I'll be disappointed by the fact that I've already put like 60 hours in a game that only came out 5 days ago.
Damn.
They're like, it's coming out with 4K support.
Platinum trophies.
But honestly, though, if they don't drop the Last of Us Fractions, what a date.
Factions. Doe is
Fractions, my bad.
infecting you.
He infected me. I'm gonna be upset, bro, because honestly, like that's the only good multiplayer game that I'm kind of excited for right now.
I hope they drop The Last of Us Fractions, and it's just a game about learning how to
Fractions.
count and like divide and do fractions.
It's
in The
always-
Last of
You,
Us.
you
always
ever
an
played
infection.
Frog Fractions?
Frog
Oh, that game's
fraction.
weird. That game is so weird.
That's what I want. The Last of Us Fractions, and then it just devolves into fucking madness.
That's crazy. Nah,
Are
I
both
mean,
y'all up top injured again? Or you hobbled back to your chair, Doey?
I had to not ride my bike because my back is hurting again.
Though he has
And
a
my
broken back,
sciatic
Tony
nerve.
has a broken neck.
I'm
Tony,
sleeping
you
like
should
an.
get that poofy thing for your neck. It's just hilarious to see. You should just do it
Should
for
I
the
do
pod.
that for the
Just
pod? Do
the
it
whole
for the pod?
episode with that fucking poofy thing. The whole episode.
Like a neck brace? Or are we talking like the old timey king thing where it was like the poofy collar?
No, it's like a neck brace,
neck
but it's
brace.
like a neck pillow. It looks like. I've never seen anyone ever wear this outside of a movie.
Apparently, there's ways
What
of
is
wearing
it
that
doing?
neck
Is it like
pillow.
very compressed? Is it like choking you a little bit to like keep a form?
It
Or
just
like
keeps
I don't
your
know what
head
it's
up.
doing.
It keeps your head up from like when you fall asleep like this.
So it's just keeping upright.
I
So
thought-
it's like a solid column, or
no. It's
I thought the husk did that on its own. I thought that it held your head up a little bit.
the husk is
some
killing
would say
me.
the husk is hurting Tony.
Yeah,
Someone said Tony needs a buckle.
Tony needs a neck buckle.
you need a back buckle, bitch. Get off me. Get the fuck out of here. Anyways,
Did I mention Spider-Man 2? Spider-Man 2's out.
Spider-Man's
Oh
obvious
yeah,
one.
Spider-Man 2. Ooh.
And then the Bloodborne people. These are the most delusional people on the internet. The absolute. They're like,
I saw the chatter about that.
we're getting a Bloodborne remake. We're getting Bloodborne 2. We're getting Bloodborne Kart. We're getting World of Bloodborne, an MMO.
We're getting
and
Bloodborne
a teaser
Fractions.
for Bloodborne 3. Bitch, Bloodborne 2 ain't even out. It don't even exist.
Are there really Go Hard Bloodborne fans out there still? Like,
Yeah, people
Yeah.
have been dying. The frame rate of the first Bloodborne game is not very great, and we've been wanting a remake since it
Even
came
a
out.
PS5 upgrade would be nice.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
dang, I didn't
And then
know.
some indie guy made Bloodborne Kart. It's actually funny. It's like
like
a
a
straight
kart
up a
game.
Mario Kart game with Bloodborne, and there's like some crazy difficult battles happening to like win the race and stuff. It's actually interesting.
That's actually a pretty wild concept, to be
And
fair.
it's a PS1 demake, so it's
Yeah.
like Bloodborne with PS1 graphics, and then like a Bloodborne Mario Kart game.
Yeah, I don't know what franchises I would want announced, honestly, at that showcase. I have no
I
idea.
want to
don't-
see Wolverine. Remember that got announced like
Yeah.
years ago.
Oh,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
I forgot about that one.
I hope so.
We
Wolverine
got like a
would be fine.
10-second teaser on that one too. Wasn't it just like him at the bar or something?
It's like, look, that's Wolverine. Just know it's happening. That's
might-
all you see.
They might show some GTA 6.
Yo, that'll be hype, but I don't think so. But
I don't think they would show that specifically at the PlayStation conference.
Oh,
You know where
yeah.
we could see that at PAX though.
Ooh.
No, we probably won't. But
But I mean, they could show a little sneak little trailer or something, throw something out there for the fans. I mean, obviously it's gonna go for Xbox as well and PC, but still. Yeah, other than that, I don't know what else they're gonna drop. And I feel like the announcement came very sneaky too. Like it wasn't like
I mean, it could be lame too. Like we might be hyping this up too much. It could be something lame. It might be like God of War Ragnarok DLC or something that's going to be announced. Like that might be the IP that they're the first person IP that they're talking about like promoting. It's possible.
Yeah, the Sony showcases have a tendency to get the fans riled up with all the possibilities, and it'd be an hour-long fest of like upcoming VR games, and you're like,
Nobody cares
cool, I
about.
guess, but like, nah, this
Yeah,
ain't
they're-
it, chief.
What if they announce Half-Life Alex is going to be on the PSVR 2?
Cool.
That change anything for you? I still am not sold on VR yet.
Same.
Also, I think I would need to get like special lenses to
I heard
use
it's
VR.
better. I heard it's better now. You can put them on top of your glasses and they sit more comfortable.
I've only ever done it with contacts. I guess contacts
Yeah.
work too. It's just
either
I've never
way.
even considered getting contacts.
No,
I feel like I wore glasses. I feel like people who wear glasses, when they take their glasses off, they just look bizarre. And I didn't wear glasses for 30 years of my life.
yeah, I know. And
This
now
is
you
a new
look.
development.
Yeah.
I look like an animal right now. I'm like, what do I look like without these glasses? And it's like, I lived the whole life without glasses. I didn't used to look like this. My eyes are destroyed. Like,
Yo, have y'all never thought of LASIK?
I ain't getting LASIK.
You could afford it,
Yeah, for sure.
but have you heard
I've-
of the LASIK gone wrong?
You could say that about any surgery
Yeah,
though. It's
for
like
Yo, apparently people kill themselves. Dum dum dum. It like causes suicide. Because people
I
are.
don't know that it causes suicide. But,
Look up suicide-related deaths from LASIK, and you'd be
I feel-
surprised.
I feel like that's like the side effects of LASIK or the botched
Or
surgery
the
of LASIK
botched
causes
surgery, yes.
rather than LASIK causes suicide.
There's a
crazy.
there's a clickbait article in
That's
there,
a
though.
clickbait article right
All
there.
right?
I had a conversation with somebody, and the conversation was about someone who was talking about how basically they got depressed and their depression caused them to gain weight. And the guy was like, nah. You didn't gain weight because of depression. You just ate a lot. And it's like, no shit.
No shit. Obviously.
So I don't know, Mateo kind of reminded me of that, even though it's not the same. It's just hilarious. The LASIK didn't cause the suicide. Though he's like, but I mean, it kind of did.